Begin our meeting, and delighted to see you this evening. Let me mention where that gentleman is standing there seeming like he's stealing something. If you'd like a copy of the agenda for tonight's meeting, those agenda copies are in that pocket, and we appreciate what David Jones does for our Tourism Commission. He is the Assistant Director there. Yes, indeed. Does a tremendous job. Our invocation tonight will be given by my friend, Jamie Jordan, and I'm going to ask you, after you've given the invocation, take 20, 30 seconds, literally, and just give us a quick update on what's happening with Madison Home, please.
Gladly, yes.
Yes, indeed.
All right, let's pray together. God, it's just such an honor to be here, and we thank you for the beautiful day you've given us, and right now I just ask for your presence to be here in this room. I thank you for your servants that are sitting up here before us. I thank you for those that are here sitting in front of them, Lord, and I just pray that you'll bless these proceedings, that the people of Richmond, Kentucky would be blessed by the work that's done here. So, Lord, we ask for wisdom in the moments ahead, not the kind of wisdom the world offers, but the kind of wisdom that you offer. And we pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
So my name's Jamie Jordan, and I'm the Executive Director of Madison Home. And first off, just to thank you for all of the support. We are about a couple of weeks away from closing our emergency shelter that we open up for the winter. It's a shelter where anybody can check in at 5 p.m. For a night's stay. We've been averaging about 30 people, men and women, sometimes children, a night. And so we're going to, at the end of March, kind of close that chapter. We're going to hit the reset button and look at what transition looks like for some of those that are staying there with us. With the help of the city, we're getting the plans drawn up. I met with the architect today. We walked through the building. It's down on 5th Street, 105 5th Street. And we get the plans drawn up, and that will... That'll just enable us to discern with the city's assistance what the next phases look like to take care of our homeless in the community.
Thank you, Jamie.
Jamie,
Yes.
remind us how many volunteers you mentioned in our meeting you have. That was, I think, like 30 churches and 200 volunteers or something?
I wish. 30, yeah, we're around 30 churches that are supporting us, and that's kind of a passion of mine to get as much of the city involved as possible. Businesses, organizations also supporting us, and it's easily over 100 volunteers.
That's awesome.
We continue to bring in more and more, and so there's some improvements in the next round that we're going to make with that whole process, but we're just indebted to the support of the city, so really appreciate it.
Jamie, and personally, it gives me, seriously, great pride, because the common question that folks ask all over the place, not just Richmond, Madison County, and so on, but all over the place, well, what are you all doing about homelessness?
Yeah.
And then I, in the sense of the Old Testament, I gird up my loins, and then, but seriously, because I want to say, ask them, what are you doing? All of us have to participate in this effort.
Right.
So thank you for what is happening at Madison Home, and let me encourage others to participate in some way. Individuals even, doesn't have to be a church, but we've actually used that service over the past month. There are folks who've come by our church late at night, and we got the assistance there.
I've heard that you brought someone personally over, so.
Yeah. So thank you.
Absolutely.
And your
Thank you all.
volunteers-
We can't do it on our own.
Volunteers
so-
have done a tremendous job. We may sometime want to host your volunteers here in the chambers and just have a little luncheon or something to say thanks.
That'd be amazing.
Madison Home? Yeah.
Madison Home.
How long has it been in existence?
So we started 5 years ago, 5 winters ago. It was under the label of Room in the Inn. And so that was a model that originally came out of Nashville when we housing homeless in church buildings. That's how we started. So we are a 501c3, and so we had to rebrand basically. So now it's Madison Home. But this is the first winter that we've used the building on 5th Street, so one central location. So 5 years, 5 winters. And then we'll transition. We'll do free lunches every day at lunchtime every day, 7 days a week. And then we're looking at transitional opportunities for folks that we can give another hand up to getting into places of their own, recovery centers, plenty of organizations in our community, as you all know, doing great work. And so we're just working with them as well, partnering with them too.
Well, we thank you.
Thank you as well. Appreciate it.
29, 30. There's 30 seconds. Thank you, Jim. But doing a great work. I mean, a great work, and it does give us the opportunity to share with others who are looking for things they might do. We're honored to have a local U.S. Armed Forces veteran with us tonight to lead our Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Marion Ogden entered the United States Navy in September of 1956. He was released from active service 15 months later and spent 26 years in the U.S. Navy Reserves, retiring in 1992 as commander in the Naval Intelligence Service, which is a rank equivalent to a lieutenant colonel in the Army or the Air Force. Mr. Ogden, known as Oogie,
Oogie, how you doing, Oogie?
lives in a condominium at St. Andrews Retirement Community. Thank you, Mr. Ogden, for leading our Pledge of Allegiance for us tonight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to greet us, you may do so. Certainly,
Well, it's
you
my
can
pleasure
certainly do that.
to be here. This is I moved to Richmond in 1976, and this young man helped me re-roof my house. He carried he was much stronger then. But anyhow, I appreciate that. Appreciate Richmond. I moved back here after I was in Georgia for 16 years, and have lots of family here and churches, and appreciate all that you all do. I especially like the lights on Main Street. I don't know whose idea that was, but I think I know. Take care, and God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, and thank you for your service. As cliche sometimes that may seem, it is not intended as such. We'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Cole?
Here, yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Here.
Commissioner Newby?
Here.
Commissioner Brewer?
Here.
Mayor Blythe?
Here, thank you. We have 4 presentations tonight. The first is business recognition, and that's always a good sign for our economy. Carrie Hensley, our coordinator of economic development, will come and present our new businesses for tonight.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Carrie Lee Hensley, your Small Business and Economic Development Coordinator. And at the start of the year, we began introducing our new businesses at our meetings. So I have 2 to introduce tonight. And the first, I'm proud to introduce Sarah Coben, if she wants to come up and tell us a little bit about her business.
Good evening.
Hi, everybody.
Good
Thank
evening.
you for having me tonight. I'm very proud to be here to present our new business in town. So as she said, my name is Sarah Coben, and I am the owner of Sunshine Play Cafe, which is over off Lexington Road in the Signature Plaza. We're tucked in the back lot, back by the Bluegrass Dance Studio. We're a little hard to find, but I just call us a little hidden gem. So my mission with Sunshine Play Cafe is to, people think it's for the kids, but it's really for the parents, grandparents, child care providers, whatever that looks like for families, to address pain points in their lives. So whether that be it's really difficult to go to a public park with your little ones because of safety or clean, not having a clean space potentially, or concerns about stranger danger or whatever that might look like, providing a very enclosed, safe space for kids to be where they need to be, and for parents to have a moment to relax and find moments of joy and peace. So we also have a full-service cafe, food, drinks, coffee, iced coffee, all sorts of stuff. So you can grab lunch. You can also just pop in to grab a drink and go. We have a small retail area, but mainly also we're doing clubs, mama clubs. We're hosting a breastfeeding mamas club on March 25th, we're bringing in some resources for our community in that way, and allowing Bible studies to happen in our space. Really, all sorts of action items happening with families to bring more people in and find joy and peace in our space. An interesting fact, we opened on February 1st, and we've already served over 450 families and individuals. So that's a huge accomplishment for us, being only 2,000 square feet. So we're super excited, and we're excited to see what's to come. So yeah.
Thank you. Quality of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we have Dr. Boutros.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you for giving me the chance to talk a little bit about my business and myself here. So my name is Dr. Rescala Boutros. I am a board-certified internal medicine and a board-certified nephrologist. I am opening a new practice here in Richmond. We're hoping to open on March the 28th. It is on Brandy Lane, next to McDonald's. We're not running any specials with McDonald's. Get you a double deck and come and check your cholesterol. We serviced everybody in the family from the age of 16 till as long as they live. You know, we take care of all acute chronic problems. You know, we specialize in treatment of high blood pressure, kidney diseases, congestive heart failures, all kinds. We are two good experienced doctors. Myself, I graduated from Seton Hall University in internal medicine in '98, and then I moved to UK for my nephrology training. During my stay in UK, I fell in love in the area, especially the suburbs. So I actually started in Mount Sterling, and now I have a practice in Winchester, and I'm opening a practice in Richmond. I have two kids in medical school. They started graduating in 2 years. So I'm hoping each one of us will settle in one and go on with the practice. My partner is a graduate from Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. He's also board certified in nephrology and internal medicine. Our PA actually been in the community here for 3 years, and she's going to continue with us. So we're hoping that all of us will be here for the long run. So again, if anything that we can do, we're hoping to provide other services in the practice, like radiology. We're planning on having an ultrasound machine. We're going to have a lab on site. You know, blood drawn will be on site. X-rays, you know, hopefully is coming. You know, it's going to be like a process, you know, into the works. But we're hoping to be of good service to the community, and we appreciate your taking us here, and we'll hope for the long run that our relationship will grow, and I'll be happy to, you know, assist in anything that the city needs me to, you know. I like the outdoors. I'm active in church, and I'm willing to be active in other things. So if you want to keep me busy, I'm all yours.
Thank you, Dr. Boutros.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's give Sarah and Dr. Boutros a warm welcome. Thank you, Carrie. Mr. John Carman, the wayfinding sign project update. Mr. City Manager, anything you want to mention as he...
Mayor, if you remember, we have a partnership with tourism to do all the new wayfinding signs. Tourism is going to pay for the wayfinding signs, and the city will pay for the new welcome signs. And we have the consultant tonight here with us, but Lori's going to give us a quick overview and introduction.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all for having us tonight.
Evening,
David and I
Lori.
just wanted to come before you and explain how we're able to do what we're doing tonight. I know a lot of you all were present when Governor Beshear would come and give us those big ARPA checks. We received $288,000 from state of Kentucky, and we want to give a big thanks to Senator Carpenter, Representative Fraser Gordon, Representative Bray, and Wesley for supporting that. When David and I got those funds, we were allowed to spend them on marketing only. And so we met with our board and talked about what is something that we can do that is transformational, that's something that's going to last. And one of those things was wayfinding signage, and that had been on our list of things that we wanted to do for many years. We just hadn't been able to have the funds to do that. So We got a committee together, Commissioner Goebel and Commissioner Cole, along with Rhonda Taylor, who's on our board, met, talked about those things, and really put down what we wanted to do. And this is something that I think 22 years ago, we had the welcome signs that you see now on each of our exits, so it is long overdue. And I was going to let David talk a little bit about why we decided to get a consultant to help us with this.
One of the things that we discovered in this process, and as we talked to other communities that had done the wayfinding projects in the past, is there's a lot to this. I was fortunate enough to sit in on a seminar with the Bluegrass Ad. I'm one of the county's representatives to the THRAC committee, and so they brought in the guys from state transportation to talk to us. And I will tell you that that kind of scared me, because it is a long, drawn-out, complicated permitting process. They got into the size and fonts of letters and all kinds of crazy stuff. So as we were talking about this, and then we heard some horror stories from other communities, we thought, you know, we're really going to have somebody help us with this. So I think that's been, you know, money well spent and a lot of time and energy and frustration saved. And Mr. Carmen and his firm, they've been instrumental in making this a very painless process, or at least as painless as it can be when you're dealing with the state transportation cabinet.
So, John, take it away. Show us what we got.
Good evening, Mayor,
Good evening, sir.
Commissioners. Great to be here this evening. My name is
Good to have
John
you.
Carmen with the Office of Carmen. We're a landscape architectural civil engineering company in Lexington. Really great to be working with Lori and David and your folks here in the city. We've done a number of wayfinding projects for individual businesses or campuses, but recently we're in the process of having a wayfinding project implemented in Danville. We had a project in downtown Frankfort, worked on in some projects in Louisville, and Lori, I think, described it well, that it can be a painful process, particularly working with KYTC. I don't think they're intentionally try to make it hard on communities. It's just, it's the nature of those type of agencies to, they feel compelled to make sure that you meet every regulation there is, dot every I and cross every T. Having worked with them before, I think makes it a little bit more seamless in the various projects that we work on. I'm going to take you through just a few steps, and maybe we have, whatever it is, 8 or 10 slides, and this is really just a quick summary and doesn't really represent the time that Lori and her folks have spent, you know, getting to this point. We are really close to having this project ready for implementation. We're under a final review with KYTC. We've gone through several different reviews, and I feel like we're very close to getting this permitted where we can really start. We can obtain some bids and then start with implementation, hopefully in several months, actually. So I want to take you through this, and I don't have a, or is this a control? Okay. There we go. So I'm just going to start out by showing you the design that we have come up with, working with the folks here in the community. We looked at a variety of different options or different designs, and we felt Richmond being Richmond and being the community that you are, and the architecture and the environment that you have, that a more traditional approach probably was the most appropriate. So the sign that you see will be the typical highway signage that we will have fabricated and placed in various different locations. We don't While we have some flexibility with the community wayfinding standards on the design, the fonts are prescribed. We have to have a certain size, we have to have a certain font style, and there's not many options on that. The arrows have to be of an exact prescribed nature. So we chose some different colors, as you see here. The red is not an EKU red. It is a different red that we will be using. We are only allowed to have 3 destinations per sign. That's a federal regulation. And that's sometimes the biggest debate when we do wayfinding is, what are the destinations? What are the most important places in a community that we want to direct not only residents, but in particular visitors to, so that they can get a sense of where they are and how to get around with as much ease as possible in the community. So this is the design that we have come up with and worked through, and that you will see placed around the community. In 2 locations, the 2 primary exits into the community, exit 87 and 90, we will be hitting the refresh button on gateway signs. Basically, we're going back where your existing signs are located. We're going to have, I think, a more vibrant sign, but they will be in the same location. They are in fairly prominent locations around the community. The sign that the exhibit that you see here, not only does it show the main gateway signs, but it shows the various different locations of the wayfinding signs as you move around the bypass or you're coming into town. I wanted to show this particular exhibit because on exit 83, Duncannon Lane, we're not hitting the refresh button there, we're placing a new sign. We made an attempt to put a new gateway sign between the end of the exit ramp and the Buc-ee's entrance, but that was not allowed. That is under federal jurisdiction. That distance, it's actually about a third of a mile, is still considered a part of the interchange or the interstate. So they suggested that we move it to just the other side of the Buc-ee's entrance. It'll still be very visible and very prominent at that location, but that will be a new sign. And I'm not telling anybody anything new, but you get a lot of vehicles at that location. One of our thoughts, particularly, I mean, we really wanted to sign in this area because, you know, so many people will turn right off of the interstate and maybe don't know that the city downtown is forward. So we wanted to make sure that they were aware of that. So this is the gateway sign that we have come up with. It's not dramatically different than what you have now, but it's a bit taller. The colors are a bit more vibrant, and like I said, it's hitting the refresh button on the existing signs. It will be a block sign. There will be minimal landscape that, you know, we can add annuals and perennials to and keep it fresh looking. The circle at the top where it says established 1798 is something that we're really still kind of doodling around with and taking some input on what maybe, you know, we have other circular kind of emblems or logos, and that's certainly up for continued discussion on the gateway sign. So this is what you have now, and so the previous rendering will in fact replace these locations that you're familiar with at the 2 existing exits, and these are just the exhibits that show that. And that's really just a quick overview of the work that we've been doing. I think there's a total of maybe 27 or 28 different signs that we have, and I think we've done a really good job working with Lori and her folks of making sure that we're not excluding anything that's really prominent and important to the community. But certainly if there's any questions, I'd be glad to try and address those. But again, I appreciate the time, not only tonight, but the past number of months working with you folks and with Lori's office.
Thank you.
Okay, good. No questions. Great. Well, again, we'll continue keeping the commission updated on the progress, and hopefully in the coming months we'll actually see some more.
Excited to see it
sir.
unfold.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Yes, sir.
Have a good evening.
Mr. Carmen?
Just wanted to say one other quick thing, and I'm happy to provide you all with a list of where all those signs are going to be. We did not do private businesses. That's one of the regulations. These are only things that are permanent, government-owned, permanent attractions. It just is a better way to do things. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Mike
Thank
said he
you.
wanted to be in the center of the circle.
I think Mr. Carmen said that could be arranged. Is that what you said about it?
Don't put this face out there.
Thank you, Laurie. There's a lot of work that's been going into that. I know you and the commission have had lots of conversations about that, and appreciate that, certainly. Be a battlefield of Richmond lifesaver. Philip Seifert. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. For those of you who know me, I usually have to start off with some type of movie quote. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment. So 4 years ago, I'm sitting in the bunker. For those of you who also know me know what the bunker means, with snow up to our waist. Nobody was doing anything. And saw a place in Lexington that was called Military Mission, and they asked for donations to put into care packages to go into soldiers, sailors, Marines, everybody, wherever they are. How can we make this work? Well, we had started our Christmas card campaign a few years ago. We dealt with them. And I was thinking, well, what can we do in the spring to do something? Well, one thing they don't want is chocolate. So if you bring chocolate, I have to inspect it. And usually have to, and then Aunt McAfee comes out and, we have to kind of test it, make sure, so.
Have an
But this is where
inspection
the-
party, is that right? An
Pardon?
inspection party.
We have to have an inspection, yes. So we thought, what is simple that everybody can understand and relate to? So came up with the idea of becoming a Battle of Richmond lifesaver. And all we ask is you go to your, whichever store you want to go to, you get a bag of lifesavers. We prefer their larger ones, not the little ones. And bring them out there to the Battle of Richmond Visitor Center through April the 30th. We will get up with Military Missions in Lexington. The representative was going to come tonight, but he's stuck on the interstate in Fayette County in traffic, so you know what
The truck
happened there.
turned over out there, yes.
The only requirement we have is we ask that they be individually wrapped, not the classic rolls. And I know we have some veterans in here, and we like to think that we're sending them a little bit of home. When they reach in there and they'll throw the handful of these in the box or something, because everybody's, you're 5 years old, you're sitting in church, the preacher's going on to, oh, sorry. Yeah. Or you're in class or something, well, you can reach and you can get you that lifesaver. It's a little bit of home, and it's so easy to brighten somebody's day. And that's what we're asking the community to do. We have a great community. People just don't realize it. And part of a job like I have, and we have, is we have to help people understand how they can help. Most people want to. They just don't know how. So I also left with the commissions a little packet of things that are coming up. And, of course, you'll be hearing about that a whole lot more later on. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. And we'll go from there. We have people from all over the nation ship these things in.
Good.
So easy, so easy. I will mosey along elsewhere. So thank you all. Keep up the good work.
And you also, my friend. A very worthwhile project, and hopefully many of us will become involved. Easy to do. And we have the Veteran Memorial update by Mr. Emerson McAfee. And good news continues.
Best news. Best news continues. I'm Emerson McAfee. I'm the member of the Madison County Veterans Committee. I'm the president of the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 1066. I can go on, but there's no need to list all these things. I'm a glutton for punishment. However, the light is growing dim. I turned 83 last Friday. I'm about to wrap up a couple of projects, one in Richmond and one in Berea this year. And I'm not biting off any. I know I think I came to some meetings and volunteered to try to continue that Veterans Park out there, but I think that was a big mistake because I don't think anybody's really thrilled about pushing that right now, and I'm definitely not anymore since I felt age hit me. But first of all, this project we've been working on, the mayor and I and a lot of other people, for 2.5, 3 years now. We've been at it out there at the American Legion fire pit that was being dedicated that day in the fall. This fall would be 3 years. And he had an idea. And I knew that he was going to come up with a great idea that I was going to love because I just wanted to see this thing go up here in Richmond. And that was tear down Armory and create a park there. So I just waited until he got his way. And now we're getting ready to, I think, move in. I brought the maker of these monuments, Rolf Monuments up in Kenton County. He was down here last Friday, and we started over here, and then we went to Berea so he could see both locations, see what he needed, what he had to do to get these things put in place. And first of all, he wanted to use the restroom here in your park. And from there on, he just walked around looking and telling me he couldn't believe what a fantastic park this was. Everything is meant for outdoors. Everything in the restroom, including the commodes, the urinals, they're all metal. These things aren't going to rust and go away. He was really impressed with what you'd done in that park. It's the first time I had went through and looked at everything myself, and I agreed with him that I think this is going to be here for a long time. Anyway, we looked at the location. He came in from one direction and got back and looked at it, and then he went to the corner and looked from there and in, and he was going all ways, and he says, well, I can come in from different ways, but getting it over that concrete circle with his truck that he uses has a lift on the back, he has to get very close to that pad that the thing sits on. So that concrete circle was going to cause him some problems, but he said, I'll get it done, but it'll be harder and it'll take longer to do it. If you could come up, well, I think it was the mayor that told me we can get a crane if we need it. If he was the one, or city manager. One of the two told me that, yeah, we can get a crane over here. I said, well, they said they'd get a crane, but I couldn't get them last week, so about Wednesday afternoon, I called Public Works. And he says, yeah, I've got a big forklift, I believe he's got, that can reach over in there and sit that thing in place. So we got that covered. He can do it. Let me see here now. I told him we want to try to get this thing moved down here in the next 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from last Friday. Anyway, he hasn't told me yet. I don't know if he's contacted your Public Works supervisor yet, but they need to coordinate so Public Works knows that the machine is working the day he's going to come down here. They don't want to come down here and can't unload it. So they're working that out, when they're going to do it, and as quick as they can come up with a date, I'm sure they'll let me know, and I'll immediately let everybody else know. I have got an extravaganza planned. This is going to be one of my finals. The Berea will be the final. This is the next to the last one. I've done a lot of these in my military service and my civil service. I had 25 years and 16 years, so I had 41 years total in those two jobs, and that's the only jobs I've had in my life. I loved it, but I'm glad it's all over. I have got Madison Central involved in this, and I'll have Madison Southern involved in the one down there. The choir, the band, and the junior ROTC are all going to be involved in this. I like to see everybody get a little part of it. I know those junior ROTC kids, they love to bring their flags out, and I'm going to have them do the undraping of the memorial. But I thought last night I might want to have someone else give the order to that. Watching some other things, we have a family here, Ellis family, who lost father. I thought I might want to involve her in giving the order to unveil the monument. I like to get everything I can involved in these things. So I may look that direction to see if she would like to come out and tell the students to unveil the monument. Anyway, I don't think is going to send the full band. I haven't talked to them yet, but I wouldn't think they would send a full band out here like a marching band. Too many. Just some key instruments to play the songs they need to play, the patriotic songs. And you got the basketball court, and there's steps leading up to the upper level there. That's where I'm planning on doing the speaking, the podium right there, and have the audience sit down there on the basketball court, the band off to one side, and the choir off to the other side. And let me see here now. I'm going to have a prelude. Naturally, everybody has a prelude. I want 15, 20 minutes of patriotic music from their band. And then the choir is going to sing 3 or 4 songs, I believe, during the program. And I'll go all the way to the end first and tell you, I want to top this thing off with the best topping I can put on it. And just before we unveil the monument, I want the choir to sing God Bless America. They can't sing it like Kate, but I'm sure they do a great job because everybody's told me the choir is something fantastic. And they're going to have several other songs in there. Junior ROTC will bring the flags out. We got a flag up above there, so we don't need to leave them. They'll just bring them out. We'll play the national anthem, and they can take them back. They'll be out there again when we get ready to unveil. Let's see. We have 5 inductees into the Hall of Fame in the years that we've been involved since 2019 was the first ones. 3 of the 5 are still living, 2 are deceased. 3 are from Berea, 2 are from Richmond. I have 1 more that was turned down this last year, and I'm sure some of you know the name Charles Metcalf, 38 years teaching agriculture at Madison Central. They turned him down because they said most of what I had in there was directed towards his job that he was being paid for by the school. Well, he had other things he was involved with too, but they didn't think there was enough, so I went from 1.5 pages to 2.5 pages explaining, capitalizing words, emphasizing certain phrases, and when I rewrote it, I wrote it for them, not for me. I want them, when they review it, to see these things, and I'm hoping this year, when they review it, they have selected him. They've already selected 22 new entrants this year. They've changed their format of selecting. The man who created this does not do the final selecting anymore. General Adams, who was over at Frankfurt for a while, he's one of the 2, and they have 1 other similar type person. They'll be doing the review of all the things, and they've already done it. They've selected. I believe next month they'll announce who they are. And I'm still holding my breath, hoping that Mr. Metcalf is selected this time. We'll get our 6th person in the Hall of Fame. I've already talked to the mayor tonight to get me some chairs put out there. That's one of the few things we're going to need. We're going to need a lot of chairs, I think. I get a head count from the choir and from the band so that they can sit down when they're not doing anything, and then put the rest of them out there on the basketball court. I don't need to go any longer into this because I got basically the topics that you all need to know. And as quick as I find out the day that he's going to come down here, I'll let someone and everybody know. Anybody is welcome to come out there when they're doing the installation and just see how they're doing it and what they're doing. I know he said he wanted maybe a couple of people from Richmond, the people that concerned with the installation of it, you know, so they know how it was done. They understand everything. He don't want to be there by himself. We'll get it going just as quick as he gives me a date. And from there, I will relax a few months because we can't get Berea's done in time for school, cut down about May something, I guess. So we will extend theirs into the last of August when school picks up again. We don't want to do these things unless school is in force. There won't be anybody there hardly. So we want the kids to be there and to understand all this. I want to put, I'm definitely putting Southern's junior ROTC in charge of the monument that goes in front. If everybody hadn't heard, it's going to go in front of Southern High School to turn in the front of the building. I offered it for over 2 years to the city of Berea to pay half the cost of $5,000. They sure disappointed me. I hate to say that my P.O. box is Berea, but I've been there since 1963. I've spent half of my life in Berea and Madison County. But it's going to look just as good in front of Southern High School, and the principal there and everybody, including Superintendent, Mr. Gillum, the junior ROTC leader over there, everybody was happy to see it put there. And we don't have to have it on city property. I think that's enough before I get myself in trouble and make enemies. Any questions before I go?
Thank you, sir,
Just waiting
very
on the
much.
date. Thank you very
For
much.
your continued labors to bring this to reality, so thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, we have 3 sets of minutes. The regular meeting, January 23, the workshop meeting, February 15, and the regular meeting, February 27, for our approval tonight. If you've had a chance to look at those in your packet, may we have a motion, please, to accept the minutes as presented for approval.
So moved.
Commissioner Goebel,
Second.
Commissioner Newby, is there any discussion, question, comment about any of those?
I will vote yes, but I'm gonna vote yes to 3 regular meetings we had. I don't think that workshop was a workshop. I think it was a regular meeting. But it was a.
Yeah, it was technically, Madam Clerk,
I know,
a workshop meeting with content on which we voted. That's the way we styled it, I believe, wasn't it?
I got no objection. I'm just saying it was the format was a regular meeting.
We used the regular
workshop
time
time.
for the workshop. Yeah, all right, with that being noted, any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Goebel?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes, thank you. Ordinance 24-04, an ordinance of the City of Richmond amending the annual budget for the City of Richmond for the fiscal year 2024, estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operations of city government. This is a first reading. We do not vote. Mr. City Manager and Madam Finance Director, welcome, Sharon.
Good evening. Okay. I'll read it and then questions, if anybody has any questions. Okay. Whereas a budget proposal has been prepared and delivered to the City Commission, and whereas the City Commission has reviewed the budget proposal and necessary modifications have been completed as recommended, now therefore be it ordained by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July the 1st, 2023 and ending June the 30th, 2024 is hereby presented as follows. In the general fund, our estimated fund balance carried forward was $30 million. Locally generated revenue, $38,473,580. State and federal funds, $887,414. And total resources for appropriation is $69,360,994. Our appropriations is $51,231,862,000, leaving us a total estimated fund balance as of June the 30th, 2024 of $19,849,466. In our American Rescue Funds, that's our ARPA funds, our balance carried forward is $5,148,965. and it's also our total resources for appropriation. Our appropriations are $4,371,417, leaving us $777,548. In our stormwater bond, we have a balance for it of $206,000. Our local revenue is $336,050 for total resources for appropriation, $542,050. Our appropriations are $425,000, leaving an ending balance of $117,050. In our self-funded health insurance, our balance for it is $995,000. Our local generated revenue is $2,752,088 for total resources for appropriation, $3,747,088. Our appropriations are $2,779,432,432, and our ending balance is $967,656. In our municipal aid program, which is our MAP funds, our balance for it is $199,500. Our state and federal funds is $680,135. Our total resources is $879,635. Our appropriations, $753,000, and our ending balance is $126,635. In our federal funds, our balance for it is $26,000. We received $40,882 from state and federal funds, with a total balance for appropriation of $66,882,000. Our appropriations are $25,000, leaving an ending balance of $41,882. In our capital projects fund, our balance for it is $3 million. Our locally generated funds revenue is $9,718,474. State and federal funds is $940,000, leaving total resources for appropriation of $13,658,474. And our appropriations are $7,181,338, and our ending balance is $6,477,136. In our sports park complex, our locally generated revenue, this is from our bond proceeds, is $23,147,869, and that's also the total resources for appropriation. Our expenditures are $8,261,662,000, leaving us an estimated balance as of 6/30 of $14,886,207. And our water grant program with KIA, that's federal funds, ARPA funds, that we expect to receive $1,004,000, and the expenditures the same, with an ending balance of $0. Okay. The amended 2024 fiscal year budget is hereby approved as submitted. The amounts budgeted above are hereby appropriated to the accounts indicated for the 2024 fiscal year budget. The city clerk is hereby directed to publish a copy of the fiscal year 2024 budget ordinance in accordance with KRS 424.240. This ordinance shall be in full force in effect upon second reading and adoption and publication by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Ms. Kane. And this is the first reading of the amended budget. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion?
I move.
Commissioner Newby
Second.
and Commissioner Cole. Is there any discussion? Mr. City Manager, anything you want to note or share anything further you want to note about what the changes are?
Two items I want to make you all aware of. One was the transfer into the capital projects funds. We were able to reimburse ourselves for the cost of the new park property from our bonding. So that was put into our capital funds project. And then the second item I want to point out is our ARPA funds. We have a remaining balance of $777,000 plus in our ARPA fund. And we'll need to make sure we have that earmarked this year for projects and spent by 2026.
Now, is that before July's budget, or?
We'll include that in the FY25 budget, and you all will determine where that money needs to be spent, and we'll earmark it. It has to be dedicated by the end of this year and then spent by 2026. Those are the two items I wanted to point out to you.
Now, are there projects that ARPA money can be spent on? Is there a list that we can go by?
We do have a list. There's some public safety needs in the fire department. There's several items you all will be able to look at and vet and choose from.
Any further discussion?
Sharon, I had just a couple things. First of all, thank you, because this is a lot of work.
It's fun, though.
You do an excellent job at it. It's organized well, and the information is good. I went through today and read every word of it, and I shouldn't tell this on myself, but my contacts gave out, so the glasses tonight, so kudos to you. I just had a few questions that are quick. But, so this is the amendment that will get us through to June 30th, right?
Correct.
So this is our ARPA amendment and our regular general fund, and it's everything, right?
Yes, this is only the funds that we actually amended. We have several other funds, but we didn't do any amendments, and I didn't include them here.
Right. So the federal money that we have, is that primarily our ARPA money and then like Section 8 and HUD?
Well, no, now, this is ARPA fund and the
Okay.
federal fund.
Okay.
Now, the Section 8 and HUD comes through on their own budget.
Okay,
It's
so that's not
independent of
included in
ours.
here, right?
Correct.
Okay, I was just making sure I was understanding. And then there was a couple little projects that I was looking for, and I kind of figured out most of them, but I have just a
Okay.
couple questions. The pickleball courts and then the upgrades that we're doing to the Little League fields. So it looked like we were able to take that from our ARPA money, right?
Yes, parks projects, anything that
Yeah.
got the people outdoor. And of course, we used our ARPA funds as revenue replacement, but those were all things that are good use of ARPA funds.
And in our ARPA budget, on the summary page where it talks about the fire truck pumper, that's $1 million, that's the one we've already purchased, right? We're just moving money from ARPA into capital?
Well, we can't purchase, because there's a timing difference back to that. It may take us through, we may not get it after.
There's about a 48-month lead time
Right.
on that vehicle right now, so we moved it out of the ARPA funds into, like you said, Tammy, the general fund account, because we have to have that ARPA money earmarked for a project by the end of this year, so we
Do
moved
we
it
have
out
to
of
spend it before that?
2026.
Yeah, okay.
But we don't want that $1 million plus hanging out there and then not happen and it get pulled from us.
Right. So on the amendment page, I see that we've done some things with the traffic signal, which came out to $550,000 total, and then we're going to get $150,000 reimbursed back to the city.
Yes.
With the partnership that we had discussed and everything. And then the Tates Creek widening project was just $300,000. Is there more to come with that, or is that just seemed really low to me?
That's, the total project is actually almost $800,000. But the contractor is separating our cost with the developer across Tates Creek Road's cost. So the developer across the road has 2 turn lanes to install. So his amount is about $500,000 plus, and ours is just $300,000. So they'll bill us separately.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought that seemed really low.
Yeah, yep, that's right.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then I tried to go back and look at my notes and make sure we weren't forgetting anything that we wanted to try to get in here in the amendment, since this is our one and only chance. It was back before the holidays, and I'm not sure the exact month, but Commissioner Newby had requested that we encumber money for an assistant city manager. And I didn't know if that was in here now or if that's.
That'll be in our FY25 budget.
Okay.
We'll have to get a position description approved by the commission, and then it'll be approved for in the FY25 budget.
Okay. So you feel good about our amendments?
Yeah. I think it'll keep us to June the 30th, and of course, we're already working on, in the interim, on the 25 budget, got it?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you
Well-
and your staff for everything that you do. Keeping us in line with our budgets is one of the top priorities, so I appreciate everything you all do.
Well, thank you, and it's a pleasure.
Not the least of which concerns, in all seriousness, you're keeping me out of jail.
That's always good.
Seriously, right, Sharon? Seriously.
Right. Seriously.
Thank you all.
Any further discussion? All right, we don't vote this time, and that'll be in our next meeting. There is, you're right, Commissioner Hall, a lot of work
Yes.
to keep track of that, so we're grateful. Order 24-27, an order authorizing signature of a memorandum of agreement for mutual aid fire services between Madison County Fiscal Court and the City of Richmond. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas each party has the power, control, and responsibility to provide fire and rescue services within their boundaries, and whereas the Madison County Fire Department and the City of Richmond wish to secure for each of the benefits for a mutual aid and fire protection and protection of life, and whereas the parties entering into this agreement agree to provide the following services if it is available by the proven agency: emergency services, including basic medical support, hazardous material containment and confinement, special rescue events, including vehicular collision extractions, water rescue, water recovery, trench, building, confined space rescue, and missing persons. And whereas mutual aid agreements secure that citizens, regardless of their geographical locations, receive qualified first response and needs. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond does hereby approve and enter into an agreement and authorizes the mayor to execute same on behalf of the city. This order shall become effective immediately upon adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 24-27. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor, this time for discussion and approval.
So moved.
Commissioner Cole,
Second.
Commissioner Newby, is there any discussion?
I just had a couple of questions on it, and I'm sure the fire chief can help us with that, but I went through and read some of the history. I obviously wasn't here on May the 19th, 2020, so I tried to go through and read the documentation that was in here. But I guess I was a little bit confused in terms of what we've been doing for the past 4 years in terms of mutual aid. And I want us to be in a situation, hopefully, where, you know, we can help the county can help us. I don't know if we still do some things with Bluegrass Army Depot, but, you know, I like to plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Let me answer that right quick. This was tabled by the commission in 2020 and never brought back up, but it never interrupted our overlapping services between the city and county. There was never an interruption with it, and it didn't cause any liability issues as well.
Like I said, I wasn't here in 2020 either, but all the departments work very well together, whether Madison County requests us or we request them. So this is just kind of the paperwork to lock that in. But either agency has never said no to the other, and we work very well together. So this is just kind of the legality-wise of making it official. So
Do we still go 5 miles out?
yes.
with
And that's
our-
kind of a different agreement, mutual aid
Yeah.
agreement we have.
Right.
They respond to the Duncannon area, and we carry over 5 miles.
Yeah.
So is the wording in the mutual aid agreement what you feel good about? Is it what you want it to be?
Yes, it is correct.
Okay.
Does everybody still go to Hillcrest?
Yes, everybody does.
Everybody.
And we operate now, everybody operates on the same channel with Madison County, so we can communicate with them. So if their trucks get there first, they can cancel us, or vice versa, so we're not wasting resources of ours or the county's. So it works well.
Well, it's good to get that formalized, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. An order of the City of Richmond adjusting an employee's status within the Parks Department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the Parks Department is in need of a parks maintenance supervisor due to a recent retirement, and whereas there an employee within the department that currently has applied for that position, which meets all requirements, and has requested to be reclassified in that position, and whereas the Parks Department has budgeted for this adjustment. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following employee in the Parks Department hereby has changed their employment status from laborer to park maintenance supervisor effective March 18th, pay grade 3, Jeff Cook, an employee since 2021. This order shall take effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We've heard the reading of Order 24-28. May we have a motion, please, bring the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Cole?
Second.
Commissioner Goble? In discussion, let me just mention one quick question here. Mr. City Manager, is this a matter, I think just what we discussed this afternoon, is this now a matter of filling that position? Will there be another position now that of labor to be filled, or is it already budgeted out and accounted for?
We're looking at that for the FY25 budget. We had Rick Struss, who retired, and Jeff Cook has really stepped up, and I can't say enough about him and Wayne Winkler and Stella. They do a phenomenal job. But to your question, there probably will be a fourth position available in the FY25 budget. We think we can get through the next three and a half months with these three.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Mayor Blight?
Yes, thank you. An order of the City of Richmond, Order 24-29, an order of the City of Richmond awarding a bid for the Veterans Center renovation project. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the City of Richmond has advertised and accepted bids for the restoration and replacing of the floor, ceiling, and drywall at the Veterans Center located on West Main Street due to a substantial water leak, and whereas 3 bids were received and 1 bid was for the best proposal for the city. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the Veterans Center renovation project is awarded to Servpro of Madison, Rockcastle, Garrett, Lincoln for the total amount of $40,940.99. The scope of the project will include cleaning, general demo, doors, drywall, floor covering, finish hardware, masonry, plumbing, and painting. The funding for the project will be allocated from the non-departmental building and grounds funds. The submitted bid is hereby attached to the order. This order shall take effect immediately upon passage by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 24-29. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Goble?
Second.
Commissioner Newby? Is there any discussion? And just a quick comment also. There's a word we've heard more than once now tonight, and I think it ought to say something to the citizens of Richmond, the concern and appreciation for veterans. We've talked about the Veterans Park and the memorial that'll go there. We're now talking about the center that the city provided for our veterans to operate out of, and we want to make sure that it is in order. So I think that is commendable on the part of the city.
And Mayor, if you
taking care of its
recall,
veterans.
this
Yes.
veterans group was meeting in the basement of the old Armory building, which was moldy and wet and just not acceptable.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Mayor Blight?
Yes, thank you. Order 24-30, an order of the City of Richmond accepting a resignation by an employee in the Police Department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas Hunter Harrison in the Police Department has submitted his resignation notice to the city on February 27th, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners accepts the resignation of Hunter Harrison from the Police Department effective March 1st. The Board of Commissioners would like to thank him for his service since 2014. This order shall be effective immediately upon adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Order 24-30. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Brewer, Commissioner Cole. Is there any discussion? And I will certainly say that that's a loss. Appreciated the work of Hunter Harrison in our department. We understand that, we make those decisions in life as we move forward and do the things we feel we must do, but we appreciate service he has given. Is that okay, Chief? Yeah. Pretty neat guy. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 24-31, an order of the Board of Commissioners approving a change order for the Madison Hall of Justice Building Renovation Project. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the city is finalizing construction known as the facility of the Madison Hall of Justice, a facility which houses the Madison District Court and administrative offices contracted with GRW Engineers, Inc., which has recommended a change order. And whereas the City Commission has reviewed the agreement and made a recommendation to move forward. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners authorizing the following change orders for the Madison Hall of Justice between the City of Richmond and Omni Commercial. Task order number 19, addition of second gate keypad, $3,000. Task order number 20, floor box relocation and patching, $4,000. The mayor is authorized to execute same on behalf of the city. This order shall become effective immediately upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's order 24-31. May we have a motion, please? Bring it to the floor for discussion and approval.
I move.
Commissioner Newby?
Second.
Commissioner Goble. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, if I may.
Yes, sir, please.
This project is about to wrap up, and it really turned out nicely, and I'd like to request that we find some time to bring you all up there and maybe bring the media with us, and Judge Earl Ray Neal and the other two judges that house that building, and do a walkthrough so you get to see just how nice this work turned out.
Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 24-32, order of the City of Richmond amending job descriptions for the Finance Department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the City of Richmond has adopted job descriptions for the employees, and whereas after review, it has been determined that these positions are needed to be amended pay scales to better reflect the job description. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following job descriptions and pay grades for the City of Richmond are hereby adopted. The Finance Department, Finance Clerk, pay grade from 2 to 4. Finance Senior Clerk, pay grade 3 to 5. Finance Grants Compliance, from pay grade 3 to 5. Finance Disbursements Clerk, pay grade 3 to 5. Assistant Finance Director, pay grade 5 to 7, and an Assistant Finance Director 2, pay grade 6 to 7. The attached job description shall be made part of the city's job descriptions and incorporated into their departmental structure. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's order 24-32. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion and approval.
So moved.
Commissioner Cole?
Second.
Commissioner Newby? Anything, Sharon, or?
I would just say, Mayor, this is a request from Sharon, and it's a good request because what it does two things, actually. It allows for us to look real hard at internal mobility by changing these grades, moving these grades up. And it also helps us when we do have some positions to post. It helps us with a better pool of people to interview. So it's twofold.
Just curious, why, I mean, some of, we've
Commissioner
jumped,
Newby?
I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
we've jumped a whole, we don't, I'm not recall ever doing that. I'm just curious, why did we jump a pay scale from, like 3 to 5?
Like I just said, to allow us for internal mobility. A lot of the individuals that say right now are at a pay scale 3 are at the very ceiling of that pay scale. So we would have to do this anyway when if we do pay increments in fiscal year '25. These individuals that are a 2 or a 3 and at the ceiling of that pay scale, we would need to raise it to accommodate that. But it also allows us to internally promote employees to these positions. And it also helps us when we post these positions to the public to get a better job pool.
So
And
this is-
we've done this in the past. We've done this with a lot of
It's just,
different.
the timing's very awkward to me. And I think, I think all our city employees deserve raises, and Sharon knows how I feel about the finance department, I'm not comfortable at this moment. I guess that's why I'd like to make a motion that we table any action resulting in a pay increase. Table it for the moment until we get the conclusion of a current investigation.
It's up to you all. This is a request from the finance.
I understand.
Yeah, let me ask you this, just to get the timing here. Because of the document that accompanies from HR, there is, in addition to this general change of grades, there is a specific recommendation for Paula Hurt to be promoted. Now, do we want to separate those two, or do we want to include this? You understand what I'm asking? Because this is a block of changes of pay grade, but there is a specific also in, well, maybe you all have that attached to it,
Yeah, it's a
awkward,
separate
I get
order.
and that to be effective March 18th. So do we want to separate?
Actually, you'll have to exclude it because with the next order of business for that promotion hinges on these pay grade changes. So you'll have to do away with that order as well for Charnel.
But all of it
That's right.
is to be
Well, I'm going to do away, table.
tabled.
I just had a question too, and I didn't want to interrupt Commissioner Newby with the motion to table, but just a little bit of background. Because, I think all of us want to pay as much as we can to our employees, and I feel like every single person up here really has a deep appreciation for what our employees do. I mean, we're only as good as our employees. We're in the people business. So I guess, could you just talk to a city manager about, is this part of a bigger HR review, and we're just starting with finance, or is this just a finance HR review? I just wasn't clear on where we were in the process.
I'd like to ask Sharon to come up and explain this because it came from her. The request came for her for these pay grade changes.
Well, Sharon, while you're on the way up, you know how much I respect you, and I'm not, and my motion was for the moment. I'm for it, just for the moment.
And Sharon, just before you, and I was looking around because I was looking for Althea from HR, because there is also that note that says, as departments are being reviewed,
Yes.
which suggests to me it's not just finance.
Exactly.
It's all departments. And I think we're even working with the League of Cities.
That's right.
In trying to make sure we're pulling our people into line with what is appropriate. So,
Yes.
Sharon, excuse me, but I wanted to say that because I didn't see Althea, and I knew she had been involved. Because
Yes.
the memo came from her.
And
But thank you.
It's just awkward timing, that's all.
Well, that's okay.
That's all.
And that is, all of those classifications, pay grades and classifications are probably a little outdated. They were done several years ago. And we know what happened during COVID, that what happened to everybody's salaries or in hourly rates out there. So that everything kind of needs to be upgraded. So this is starting with us, because we have, most of our people in my department are maxed out. And I think that's what you'd find across the city too. And there's no room for any growth. It's the same problem we've struggled with literally for years with the police department and all those departments. There's those step increases. You just don't have those. So you can reward those
Exactly.
for time in and hard work.
Well, by no means, ma'am, I'm for it. I want to do it, but just can hold off a little bit.
And Sharon, now that one particular person was to be effective in promotion on the 18th. Now, the others, does that mean that the other employees that you have set in your mind at this point, in your plan, a date for these to become effective for everybody outside of this person, or had you set a date at this point?
There's only one employee that this hinges on with the pay increment, and that's the next.
That has maxed out at this
That's
point.
right. The rest of
Thank you.
these just positions this department where they can.
So when they
internally-
do.
That's right, that's right.
Thank you.
And I want to be clear here, this request came from the finance department to myself and HR. This was not something that I requested or asked for. This is, directly came from Sharon to us.
Sure.
We-
and
we-
my
we-
thing-
oh, go ahead.
it's just the timing. It's, no matter where it came from, it's just the timing.
Help me, when you say the timing with, with respect to what? Help me, Jim.
Well, what we've got, what with the investigation we have going on? I mean,
We got an investigation in finance?
no.
I don't think we want to discuss that here at this time.
No, I know, that's.
I don't think we want to mention that at this time. Yeah.
But Rob, would we be able to ask maybe Althea to come and just talk about, we have, I think I read 280 employees. So to talk about how this fits in with kind of that big picture of making sure that we're on target with HR, because we're concerned about the finance department and every other department as well.
Well, so you know a little history here, I guess it was 3 years ago, we used the Kentucky League of Cities wage and salary survey and adjusted salaries across the board for everybody. And what it's done is it's made us competitive as a city, because prior to that, we were underneath other cities our size for pay for employees. So over the past 4 years, we not only adjusted salaries to be competitive in accordance with the Kentucky League of Cities wages and salary survey they do every 2 years, we've also done the 4% pay increments to retain employees. And I can tell you across the state in government, at the state and local levels, retention is hard, very hard. And I think we've done a very good job with that. So there is an overall picture, Tammy, and I would be more than happy to bring Althea in to explain that to you.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're clear and transparent in terms of that, we're concerned about all city employees, 280 or how many benefited, employees we have, and to just make sure that we understand the bigger picture, because my guess is it's not just finance. My guess is that we may have some others that need to be looked at and maybe have positions reclassified or whatever. So.
Mr. City Manager, would it not be a logical consequence that as we, for example, what did we do this year? 4% increase for employees.
Yes.
Would it not be a logical consequence that there'll come a time when those 4% and 3% and 2% will push somebody over the line beyond what
And
they're...
that's happened in the
Yeah.
past, and we've adjusted pay grades accordingly, because you have people, say, at a pay grade 4, and over the years have gotten raises. They've hit that ceiling of that pay grade. So we get ready to do a budget, and we're proposing a 4% increase that puts them into the next pay grade that's not their job description.
Yes.
So we reclassify that pay grade, so they fall into it. It's
Thank you,
just-
sir.
And we're doing this the right way. I mean, using Kentucky League of Cities in terms of our baseline information. So we're not just, pulling this out of thin air in any way.
No,
We're using the
not at
data
all.
that's out there. And so we're doing it the right way. I feel like we just want to make sure that we're looking at, not just the finance department, but that we're being fair across the board.
And we do. The department heads and I talk about this regularly, and who people that are excelling in their departments, and internal mobility and positions that we need to post publicly. So it's a constant upkeep with this.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, we have a motion on the floor. Is that correct?
Just to.
There was a motion to
for the
table?
document that we're talking about.
There was a
then
motion to
Commissioner Nugent
table
had made a
order
motion, but I
2432.
didn't have a second to that.
Was there a second?
I didn't hear a second.
All right.
So let's go over what we're saying. So there's a motion on the floor to table this for, say, the next
Order
meeting or the next,
24-32.
whatever. Okay, I would second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second that we will table order 24-32 to a specific time or indefinitely.
Indefinitely at the moment.
Well, keep in mind, just like the fire mutual aid agreement, it's up to the board to bring it back to us. So now that you've tabled it, it's up to the board.
That's fine.
To
We'll
revisit
remember.
it. Okay.
Yes, sir. In other words, not specifically Madam Parliamentarian, to the next meeting,
Okay.
but till whenever we bring it back. Is that correct?
right. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Hopefully soon.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
No.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
No. That's 3 yes, 2 no. Is that correct,
That's
Madam Clerk?
correct.
Thank you.
Passed.
Then the motion passes. Order 24-33, in order of the City of Richmond adjusting an employee's status within the Finance Department. Yeah. Madam Clerk, please.
Do we still need to do this
Hang on
one?
just a second here. Sharon, we can't,
Yeah, we can't
you'll
vote.
have to table this order as well.
All right. In light of the action on
That's right.
24-32, let's see, just a second. Yeah. That person that was in
That's correct.
that previous order.
That's right.
Then may we have a motion, please, that we will table order 24-33.
So moved.
Commissioner Goble,
I'll second.
Commissioner Cole, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
No.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
No, thank you. It would logically have to be in light of the action on the previous, but the spirit of it, no. Has anyone come tonight to make public comments? Anyone in the audience? Yes, sir.
I took my Prevagen early this morning, so it must have wore off by the time I got through talking here. I had one more thing to say, and that's about the park. I haven't seen anything or heard anything. I don't know if you've etched anything in granite yet or not, but going through the Veterans Committee out there, all the groups out there have agreed that they would love to see a certain name on that park, and that would be Veterans Armory Memorial Park. Have you done anything yet on it?
Mr. City Manager, can you give us a progress report on how we're going about the naming at this point?
Let me look into see where the signage is on it to confirm the naming on it before I respond.
It's almost midstream.
You're
and
already
I
in.
think we've gotten to that point, but we'll check. We'll
Okay.
check to see. Yes,
Just
sir.
wanted to bring it up in case. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McAfee. Anyone else?
My name is Wayne Robinson. The comment I'm going to ask for is, when you do those new signs where it says "Welcome to Richmond,"
Wayfinding sign.
okay, make sure you get the date right of EKU if that's going to be on there. It's not 1906. It's 1874. We don't want to get 1906 on there and then have to go back and change it. If you go into the Coliseum where they play basketball, when you turn it at the light, it's on there.
Yeah.
Wayne, we're actually putting the date that Richmond was established, which is
Yeah, it's
1798.
Richmond's date.
Okay, so EKU is not going to be on it no more?
No.
It's not, okay.
It's an establishment of Richmond. Yep.
Thank you.
So we got you, buddy. We were talking about that earlier, how EKU had one date, and then they had a line through it, and then they had another
Yeah,
established date.
and then they've actually chiseled off.
Yeah, that's right.
On one or two of their signs, the latter of the two dates, they've gone to the 1874, and they've taken the 1906 off there, I believe, but.
That's right.
Like the one that goes in, never can think of the name of the street, or whatever, University Drive or whatever it is. All right, Mr. City Manager, please.
Just two items tonight. Sharon and I have got budget packages out to all the department heads, and we have started scheduling meetings for first week in April. So I look forward to that process. I enjoy that. Second item I have is for Commissioner Cole. I got a call today from Allen Company, and the subcontractor Davis Elliott was mobilized today to the Great House Duckhorn traffic signal. They'll be digging the holes first and compacting them, and then once the pole's in, they'll install them, and then they'll back into doing the offsetting lanes. So I'm not going to put any dates out there when this will be done, but it's up and running, and hopefully in the next 90 days. Yeah, that signal will be up and running.
Thank you for the update.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it, Mayor.
That it? All right,
Yes, sir.
thank you. Commissioner Goebel,
Just thanks for the mirror. We
Glad we had them in stock.
I know.
Yeah.
She was like, what, already? I said, we obviously had some in some building somewhere. But anyway, just a concerned citizen was looking just a blind spot, and so they were able to put a mirror up that really helped, so thank you.
all right. Commissioner Brewer,
Where are we at with the bathrooms out at Gibson Bay?
The driving range
Yes.
bathrooms, they're finished up.
They're good?
Yeah,
Good to go?
We had money left over in the golf training facility, so we upgraded the bathrooms. I want to thank Tim for his work on that, but they were in really rough shape, so.
Yeah, they were
new
terrible.
fun building, new rain gutters, new doors, new fixtures inside, so it's long overdue.
And was the falls up and running?
Yes. Went out there
I
today,
drove
saw
it.
Oh, they look,
Yeah.
yeah,
I sent you guys updates on
good
that.
videos.
They added, which was a good idea, they added chlorine tablet feeders to the water this year, so that'll keep all the moss and green out of it. And it also increased the pressure of the fall, so they're running a little heavier, which is nice.
Yeah.
We also are gonna remove, I think it's 4 trees from that property, just because they're split and dying, and they also cause a big mess to
Yeah.
the public eye. So I met with a tree contractor today about that. It looks good. Springtime is upon us.
spring has sprung.
Last thing, do we have a government combined meeting on the 21st of this month at 9 o'clock?
That's the plan, Madam Clerk, if we.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sir.
Is the public invited to that?
yes.
And the news media and all those? Okay.
Yes.
I just don't think it's been announced yet, published.
Who's the host?
I believe it's the county.
I think so.
Yeah, they organized it.
It'll be at the extension.
Extension office.
Okay, that's all I got, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Newby,
I don't have anything, sir.
all righty. Commissioner Cole,
Yeah, I just wanted to provide a quick update. Commissioner Goble and I were able to participate with the Regional Economic Marketing Work Group. You all probably remember that we became a partner and invested some resources to be part of a regional economic marketing group. And so they began to have meetings and give us some updates and so forth. So anyway, the website's going to be really good. We kind of got a little bit of a rollout of it just in terms of looking at how it's going to, some of the bells and whistles it's going to have. One of the things that stuck out at me was if you're living anywhere inside the United States and you're thinking about moving to Richmond, Kentucky, or one of the surrounding counties, you can plug in and get the cost of living analysis. So it can tell you if you're going to save money by moving to Richmond or if it's going to cost you more money. For example, if you're coming from Boise, Idaho, and you want to see if you're going to need more or less money for your living expenses. So it's got lots of bells and whistles. It's a work in progress, as you can imagine. So we'll be, just try to give some updates on that, and it will be a really good marketing and economic development tool for Richmond and the surrounding. I think it's 9 governments, cities, and counties that are involved in that. So I'm glad that Richmond's part of it, and we promise to keep folks updated and share that when it's completed.
all right. Is that it?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Let me mention a couple of things here. First of all, when we had the presentation by the new business, the Sunshine Play Cafe, I thought about the park. I went over and spent some time just sitting at the Armory Park today, and I'm just amazed at the level of use of that park. I can see some things that we may call growing pains because they haven't been growing that long, but such things as parking, I think a lot of folks, and every aspect, while I was there today, every aspect of that park was being used. these guys, and I'll just say, Chief, one of our police officers had gathered a bunch of guys, and I mean, they were having a great time. Talk about community-oriented policing at its best. So there was a ball game going on, full court. There were the folks who were on the skate park. There's Joni's Playground, which will be made official very soon. But there were children and parents galore. It's doing what it was meant to do. And even just folks who wanted to just come and watch the game, those bleachers, I'll call them, but those stone seats, just outstanding. There were those who were using the tables to read, and it was everything a park ought to be. And so it's going to get considerable use. It might even suggest to us that we may need to take that community neighborhood park approach a little bit more. We may need to take a look at the town. You know, ask the Parks Board, look at the town and see where there's a neighborhood that could have a nice little park that could really quality of life, as I said, that can really address that. So, but that park is really doing some wonderful things. And of course, Mr. McPhee is excited, as we all are, about placing that Veterans Memorial there in that park. And certainly, once that is official, it'll be wonderful for folks who just want to come by and look at that and sit and maybe reminisce or whatever. Secondly, the Footprints brochure, the booklet that was presented a few weeks ago by the Tourism Department, Tourism Commission, and the Madison County Historical Society is definitely a hit. I saw it referenced on one of the Lexington TV stations, Footprints. And if anyone would like to see what was the source of that title, I'll bring it up here. But there was a book of poetry written at the turn of the 20th century by Henry Allen Lane. His book of poetry was entitled Footprints, printed in 1924 and again in 1926. I have a copy, so you know that it's precious because it's 100 years old. But I also buried Henry Allen Lane's daughter, Miss Helen Lane Phelps, who lived out on Linden Street. Well, I buried her son and daughter. But Miss Helen Lane Phelps is buried in the Old Soldiers Cemetery over on 4 Mile Avenue, where her father and mother are buried also. But that's a hit. It is a hit. The school system is going to put it in every one of the schools. And it will be a contribution to the history of the city of Richmond. That's its intent. The city of Richmond cannot help, of course, but touch on the county in some ways, but it's for the African-American history of the city of Richmond. It is not a completed work. It is a work in progress, and there will be probably additions as the years go on. Teen Center continues to serve our young people. Grateful to the Parks Department, Parks and Recreation, and for those volunteers who are there on regular basis, exposing those young people to things that could make their lives even much better. I've asked them to do a project for me, and they got real excited about it. I won't tell you what it is. As soon as they can get together and present something to me, I want to present it to you. I've asked them to do something for the city of Richmond, and they were excited about it. And finally, next Tuesday, a week from today, 8:30 a.m., Chamber will present the State of the City address, and looking forward to it. Some wonderful things that we have to report, but also some challenges that we have to present that we're going to try to face over these next many months. So looking forward to that opportunity. Let's see, we don't have any, do we have an executive session?
Yes, sir.
We do, all right. Let me say to those in the audience, if you wish to wait, you may do so. We're going into executive session. May I have a motion, please, that we will go into executive session according to KRS 61.810, subsection 1, sub C, regarding litigation.
So moved.
Commissioner Cole,
Second.
Commissioner Newby. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer? Yes. Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. I was busy talking to Renee. Renee, if you don't mind, wait till we get finished. I want to see you, please. Thank you. kids say interesting. My. Help me, Tim, help me.
Wish I could.
Oh, gosh. Let's see, we're all here.
Yep.
May we have a motion, please, that we will return from executive session to regular session?
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Cole, Commissioner Newby. Madam
Commissioner
Clerk,
Cole?
please.
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Are all hearts and minds clear? We return from executive session, no action having been taken. We need to say that, no action having been taken. All hearts and minds are clear. We will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Commissioner Cole,
Second?
Commissioner Newby. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks to all of you.